All right, let's get started on this binge-worthy training. So I want you guys to go through all the training, and we're starting off right here with lead generation. Lead generation steps. What's the best lead generation that you should be focused on for 2020? Not something that worked 5 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever. What can you do right now in lead generation? So I've generated tens of millions of leads. The number was somewhere, around 65 million leads that we generated for one client alone that I did between 2008 and 2015. So I'm really good at this. I'm really, really good at lead generation. And every single time that I create a new promotion, I sit down and I go through these questions. I have 7 questions that I go through in my head. And this is before I start thinking about landing pages, before I start thinking about offers or email follow-ups or any of those things. These are the 7 questions that I go through before I create any campaign for anyone, right? Let's get started talking about these questions. Number 1, what's the problem? What is the big problem that you're solving? What is the big problem that this offer is solving? So think about that. Think about that in your business. Think about whatever it is. So if it's this marker, let's say this marker never runs out of ink. I wish it did. I wouldn't have to buy all these markers like crazy. But this marker never runs out of ink, right? That's a big problem. You're identifying the problem that markers run out of ink. And we'll talk about competition in a bit. But if you can identify what the big problem is up front, I'm just looking, I have, camera equipment. I have even some golf balls here, big pain with golf balls is they're expensive. This sleeve of golf balls was, I don't know, $20 or something like that. So for 3 balls, it's kind of expensive, right? So if you're selling golf balls, that could be a big problem and that could be expense, right? So there's so many things that you can do with your business. You have to first define what is your product and what is the big problem that your product is solving, because that's what we're going to focus on. That's going to be the focus of this. Because if I'm just posting up the marker, right, and I just post up marker for sale, and there's another marker, wherever probably over here. Here's another marker, and this is actually a competing brand. So let's say I'm just saying this is my marker and this is the competition, and I just say marker, right? I think that's what the problem is with most people that are running advertising, and I think that's the problem with most people that are marketing their brand is they just come forward and they say marker. And it's not really identifying what the problem is. We're running campaigns now for so many different brands, like so many different companies. And with My Credits, we're running campaigns and having follow-ups and doing all this for so many different brands, whether they're selling physical products or they're doing training or whatever that might be. So we have so many clients. And out of all those clients, everyone's selling something unique. But with this case, you have to identify the problem. The problem is what makes your business stand out. And I can tell you, I sell software. You could be selling software. You could sell the exact same software as me. And I guarantee you that I'm going to end up doing my advertising and running my ads to be different than yours, because I'm going to identify my problem and the problem that I'm solving as something different than you. So you could even be a marketing expert. You could be a Facebook ads expert. You could be a YouTube ads expert. It doesn't matter what you're an expert in. You could be providing that service. And I would take 2 people that are providing the exact same service, and somebody could identify the problem as different than the other person, and boom, you have a totally different business. You have a totally different lead magnet. That's why copy and paste ads don't work for your business. And if you're thinking, all I have to do is just buy this course and they give me cut and paste ads, all I have to do is set up the ads, you could say goodbye to your ads account, because that's what's happening right now. And in 2020, it's not going to be put up with. Every single ad that you create needs to be unique. You can't do any cut and paste ads anymore, guys. It's not possible. You're going to just get your ads account banned. I don't care what you're selling, you're going to lose your account. So identify the problem, solve the problem, and that's going to make your product unique. Problem, number 1 thing. We can break out a little bit more. We can break out this next to here, but I just want to go through here. Number 2, who it benefits. Who is benefiting from the solution that you're creating? So you have your solution, right? That's your product. That's whatever it is that you're going to get to. And, we're not coming out and saying directly like, here's this thing. Here's this thing that I'm going to solve all your problems. That's not really what we do. We want our lead magnet, and we'll talk about this in a moment, but we want our lead magnet to be something that's lowering the barrier. We're not coming out and saying, buy my stuff, right? Because if you just come out with, hey, buy my stuff, people aren't going to buy your stuff. But you know what? People reach out to me and they say, Matt, I want to buy your stuff. Why is that? Well, I watched a bunch of your content on YouTube. I binge watch your content and I'm ready to purchase. Like, just send me a contract, send me whatever it is that I need, send me the link. I just want to buy right now. And I don't even have to say anything because I've nurtured and help those people in a certain sense. So I want you guys to do this and not to think like, oh, this guy's telling me that, I got to spend the next, 10 years creating content. No, that's not the case. It's not the case. I know people that get up and started and within just a couple of days have people reaching out to them asking because they're solving a big problem. They identify a big problem and they solve that big problem, and you have to identify who is going to benefit from that. So the answer cannot be everyone in the world. You can't solve problems for everyone in the world. You have to identify a key person or a key business or a key whatever that is that you're solving that problem for. So as you're able to solve those problems and say, this is the audience I serve. This group right here is the audience I serve. This could be the full, people that could use my solution, but these are the people that I'm focused on right now. And every single time you set up a new lead magnet, which this is one campaign, think about this every time you set up a new campaign. So in example here, let's go ahead and say that I'm running Facebook ads for people. Just hypothetically, I'm running Facebook ads for people. What's the problem that I'm solving? The problem that I'm solving is I'm helping you to get more effective leads for your business, lowering your cost and doing it faster. And we'll talk about cheap, easy, fast, and all those things. So I do all these things and I'm solving a massive problem because you've hired other experts before and they weren't able to drive the results that you're looking for, right? So I solved that problem. I'm going to help you with that problem. So the solution is helping that person and identify who that person is by saying, this person that I'm going to help is a coach, is an expert, is selling a product online, selling a physical product, or whatever that might be. So I identify that audience. So let's say this is for coaches. This would be for coaches. I would go through this whole process and then I would do it again. Go through e-com, do it again, go through the next one, go through the next one. So every single time I'm creating a blueprint, I'm going through and thinking about the person that it's benefiting, and then I go to the next thing. What do they want? Thinking about the person, not thinking about the product. The product, like the marker, right? If I'm doing just the marker, I'm not really solving anything. But if I identify my best customer is coaches who use markers, for example, on whiteboard videos, and they're frustrated that their marker runs out, and we have a marker that will never run out. So who am I helping? Coaches that do whiteboard videos. And what's the problem? Constantly running out of ink in our markers. What do they want? They don't want to have to go to the store and keep buying markers. It's a waste of time, it's a waste of energy, it's a waste of money. What if there was one marker that you could buy and you never have to buy another marker ever again, right? So I'm solving, this is cheap, it's going to save you a bunch of money, it's easy, one purchase and you never have to buy it again, and it's fast. This will show up within 2 days to your house. You don't have to leave the house, you can buy it right now. It'll show up in 2 days. It's going to save you $10,000 and you're over your lifetime, whatever the big promise is, and it's solving all those things. So you see what I did there? I identified what the problem is, who it benefits, what they want. I hit the points of cheap, easy, fast, because people want to save money. So the first one's money. Second one is, how hard is this? Is it making life easier? And then the speed. People always want speed because no one's going to sign up to something if it's going to take forever. Like, get this right now, super fast, sign up right now. It's going to take 6 weeks coming from China. All right, that's not fast. That's not going to work for me. I want it now. I want it right now. I want it super fast. And I know people that made their entire business just based upon fast. Amazon's one of them. Amazon made their entire business based upon fast. It's not necessarily cheaper or, it is easy, but it's speed. The whole Prime, the whole business model of Amazon, one of the richest country, they're richer than most countries, but richest companies in the entire world created their entire business model off of just fast, and user experience, making something simple for the user. That's crazy, guys. It's crazy to think about. So think about that with your business. Think about that with your product. Think about that with your delivery. How can you solve those problems? Cheap, easy, fast. Next is competition. I don't want to hear you guys saying I don't have a competition. Every single person in the world has competition. Every single person. My products, I might say, hey, we don't really have a competition, but we do. There are other competing factors. I have multiple softwares. MyCredits is one of our software platforms. So there are different ways that you can go about rewarding people. Now, I could say MyCredits rewards people for ways that no one else has ever rewarded in the history of digital marketing, in the history of business. We are rewarding people in new ways that you have never seen before in the history of the world. Would I come out and say that we have no competition? No. I would say, people might sacrifice some of the features that we have and go with one of our competitors and might say, okay, well, I'll go with this, I'll go with this solution to reward my customers, and it does X, Y, and Z, and that'll fit for me. That's competition. So what do I have to do? I have to identify what those features are. I have to identify how we're less expensive, how we're saving you money, how it's easier to get started, and you can be started in less than 5 minutes. I have to explain all of those things and explain and show how you can do that. So that's how we run our advertising for MyCredits, is explaining cheap, easy, fast. Then I take a look at the competition. I say, how are these pains, going back to the pain, the problem, how are these pains with our customers? And honestly, most people don't know that they can be running a rewards program and having their customers redeem those rewards and come back to your business and spend more money. Most of them don't know that. So I'm not competing necessarily with the competition, but in a sense, I am competing with people that would spend their time and effort focused on other areas of their business. Perhaps people are more focused on, hey, I need to be running this campaign and doing this email and doing this landing page, and I don't really need to worry about how customers are coming back to my business. So I need to educate them on, hey, there's significant, using out there in the world, using a variety of different statistics, and say, the returning customer is 10 times more likely to spend an additional 7 times more with your business, or whatever the statistics are that I'm going to share. So I have to educate, right? So it's not necessarily a competition per se, where they're saying I'm choosing between, company A and company B, but I'm choosing between apples and, and fried chicken, right? So something completely, they're not really the same, but we still have to explain and understand the competition. So I don't care what that is for you. You have to identify what the competition is. And you can't say, no one does it like me, or no one has this like we do, because everybody does. And I hear it a lot. I hear it from different platforms that are saying like, hey, come and sign up for my software. We'll help you to advertise on Facebook, and no one shows you how to set up your ads better than us. Well, no, there's a lot of different ways to learn how to set up ads. There's probably 10,000 competitors. Now you have to just choose the niche of who you're going after, of who it benefits, what the problem is you're solving, who the niche is, and then identify your competition, because from all of that, that's what's going to create what your offer is going to be and what your lead magnet is going to be. So now we have to define where are they, and then after we define where they are and how to find them, now we have to create a lead magnet. So taking all of that in disseminating all that information, now we have to set up an ad. So let me just move this over and let's set up an ad. Let's plan out what an ad might look like. So let's think about it. So where are we focused? Let's say we're going on Facebook. So we're doing a Facebook ad. So you have your profile image here. So you might have your logo or an image, whatever that is. Then you got all this text that's up here. And then you have your ad here and your offer and all those things. And you have all these comments and all these things down here. So when I'm setting up a lead generation ad, so I'm talking about the ad here that's going to be the lead magnet that's going to get their attention. The first thing that I focus on is this right here. What's going to get that person to stop? What's going to get that person to stop? And one of the best ways to get somebody to stop is really think about their problems. Think about the problem and think about who might benefit, but perhaps what do they want? And how can you solve that? How can you solve that piece? So that could be an image of a, whatever it is, a trip, or, it could be a video with, scribbling if we're talking about the marker again. Could be, drawing on a board and nothing's coming out of the marker. Like, are you tired of this? And then if that person sees that and they see like a marker running out, they're going to stop. They're going to stop. So you have to define what it is that's going to get that person to stop. If you're just showing something that's boring, if you're just showing something that's, just a product that is just, for example, my golf balls again. If I'm just showing one sleeve of golf balls and saying, golf balls, that's not going to get them to stop. But if imagine I have two sleeves. Imagine this is a sleeve of golf ball. They're side by side, and I put the price above this one that says $20. I put the price above this one that says $7, and then right below it says the same golf balls at a fraction of the price. I got that person's attention. Then I identify, who benefits from it. Obviously, golfers. And what's the problem? Cost. And you can have this delivered in less than 5 days. You seen how this starts coming together? And we're going to talk more about this ad creative. So you have to define what it is in your business that's going to get people to stop. What's going to get them to pay attention? Now let's build the rest of this ad. So this is the stop piece. What's going to get them to stop? Identifying the problem, what they want, and then we have to build in the cheap, easy, fast. So you might have to also identify who it's for. So maybe if you can't get it across here with the who, you might need to say who in the text up here. And then you need to say cheap, easy, right? Fast, or whatever those three messages are. Define that up top. You don't necessarily want to talk about your competition. You don't want to, bring that to light, but perhaps it could be competing, as I was using the golf ball example here. You could say something that, and then from there, you have to create your lead magnet. So what is the thing that you're offering? So again, if I'm offering this marker, I might offer, say, 30% off. I might offer something like that. As part of this special promotion, you can get this 30% off. I might offer free shipping. I might offer whatever the piece is that I'm offering. I can identify that piece and I can offer that here and say what that is. And then also in Facebook ads, there's a little section down here and you can continue your offer here. That's a great place to put your offer. And one of the most important pieces of this entire scenario is your comments. So what I want you guys to do is focus on building those comments. And this is probably right here is probably one of the key things that allows me to create so many positive leads and positive engagement to my campaigns. Like, this is one of the biggest things that people are failing with their advertising, is they're not stacking their comments on here. And I can't for the life of me understand why people don't do it. I can't for the life of me understand why people don't have their testimonials and all of that good stuff about their brand and about their offer right here. Because the eye, when somebody's looking at your ad and they're scrolling, whether it's Facebook ads, whatever it is, as they're scrolling, the first thing they see is here. That's number 1. 2, that's the second thing they read a little bit up there. 3, and then 4. So if you can get them down to 4, So they go 1, 2, 3, 4. If you can get them down to 4 and have them read something encouraging, you're going to get the click. You're going to get the click right there. They're going to click, they're going to take action. So again, let me follow real quick. The first thing they see is here, it's 1, then they go 2. They might not read all of it, so you want to make sure your best stuff is right up top here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the steps to get people to click and become a lead. So as part of this, I go through this process every single time I'm building an ad. Now let's go to the other side and let's talk about your landing page. So on your landing page, after they sign up, after they click, after they take that action on your lead capture landing page, what I want to do is I want to reinforce whatever the thing is here. Your biggest headline is whatever you're trying to reinforce, whether it's the cheap, easy, fast, whether it's your offer, 30% off, whatever that might be. And then I'll put some just supporting text, not much, not a lot of text. We don't want people going through this like crazy. You don't need to put videos here. You don't need to put anything crazy right here. And I just put the opt-in forms. So those are the forms, whether you're just getting name, email, or name, phone number, and email. Understand the more forms you add, the more questions you add, the lower your conversion rate is going to be on page. So the less people are going to sign up. But you could get, name and email, or name, phone, and email. And I always like to say, this is secure and so forth. And we'll break down a little bit more in future videos exactly what the landing pages look like. And then let's say that's the fold. What does it mean by the fold? This is what their page will see when they open. And then if they scroll past here, what I want to do is I want to have the reinforcing messages. So like testimonials or other things, or things that they need to read in order to reinforce to get them to take the action. So whatever that action is you're trying to get them to take, you're reinforcing that here. But up top here, what we call is a squeeze page. And you always want to have a logo, whether it's centered or on the left, or sometimes I even put the logo down at the bottom, whatever it is. But the point is, this is a squeeze page. And going from that ad to this page, you should see, if you're doing all these pieces right, you should see somewhere around a 40%, if you do this right, 40% conversion rate on that page. You see 40% of the people converting. Right now, I have a page running that's 75% conversion rate, almost double what 40 is. And most people only get, say, 5% conversion on their landing pages. I'm talking about 40% or higher conversion on your landing page by taking these steps right here, following this lead generation method. So let's go back to the ad real quick. Let's talk about the ad. Let's talk about the landing page, and then let's talk about this all together to break all this out. Move over just a little bit. So breaking out this whole thing one last time. So as you're advertising, if you're hitting the right audience, so you're solving a big problem with your ad and you're identifying who it benefits, you're hitting the right audience, you're saying the right things to them, you're engaging them with the right message, you're doing all the right things, and you have the right ad that's getting clicks and getting engagement, you should see somewhere around $1 per click if you do this right. Now, you could be a little bit below that, you could be a little bit above that, but let's go ahead and say you're seeing $1 per click and you're just hitting the right audience with the right message at the right, it's hitting correct. So that's a good benchmark to have, is $1 per click as you're running your advertising through Facebook ads, right? Again, Facebook ads. So $1 per click. You can see it inside the Facebook ads platform. Then over here, we're saying 40%. 40%. So what does that mean? So for every 100 clicks, for every 100 clicks, that equals $100 spent, right? And with the 40% conversion rate, that's 40 leads. If you do this, exactly following this format. So for every 100 clicks, that's 100%, 100 spent, that's 40 leads. Now, once you understand this, and once you understand these numbers, and then you start understanding, how many leads does it take to turn into a sale, and we'll talk about sales later. Right now, we're just talking about leads. once you understand this and you can say, this is my conversion rate, you're looking at your conversion rate on page using a software like ClickFunnels, something like that. And then over here, you're saying, it's $1 per click. As long as you can maintain that, you should be able to come down here and say, okay, what happens when I spend $200? When I spend $200, that'll double and that'll be 80 leads. What happens when I spend $300? Now I'm getting 120 leads. What happens when I spend $400? Right? And you just keep going up, 160 leads. What happens when I spend $500 a day? And I'm getting whatever, I left off on the number, 200 leads, whatever. So it keeps going up. And as long as you can maintain this number here with your 40% conversion rate, and then by then you can start A/B testing and coming up with different things. And then as long as you can maintain that dollar per lead right here, and you really start stacking those comments, which honestly should start lowering your cost per lead. You might actually improve on that if you can really build those comments up. I know we get to the point with some of our ads that we do this formula and we end up seeing $1 per lead, $2 per lead. We start going down in this way, and then we start going up on this side, and then you get to a good place that you might spend $100 and you might get not just 100 clicks, but you could get 100 leads. So it all depends on finding the right audience, solving that big problem, identifying who is benefiting, what they want, saying if it's cheap, easy, fast, getting all that messaging up into here, into maybe just 3 lines, 4 lines tops. Like, don't write a dissertation. Like, it doesn't need to be a dissertation on how they make golf balls. Like, you don't need to go into that, right? When they sold me my car, they didn't go into detail on exactly how the engine is made and how a combustible engine works, and they didn't go through all that when they sold me the car. They sold me on the flash, on the sizzle, on the things that I wanted to see. Like, yeah, people are like, I swear when I got my car to go and drive it for the first time, I swear they were paying people off to like turn and look at me as I was driving, because I was like, hey, I've never had somebody look at me while I'm driving a car before, so I'll go ahead and sign, right? That's the comments down here, right? So as you're driving your car, as you're test driving that car, and you start seeing people looking at you, you're like, that's what I've been looking for. Those are like the comments, right? That's that reinforcement that you're looking for. That's the thing that the feeling you're trying to create, and that security and that peace of mind, because people don't know you. People don't know you. And in order for your business to grow, in order for you to grow your brand, you need more people to know and trust you and want to do business with you. And one of the best places to do that is right inside the comments here. So be sure to stack those comments up and get some great reviews and some great messages that will definitely help you build your brand and build your business. And then as you start sending people to your landing page, understand your KPIs, key performance indicators, understand your metrics, and understand how that's going to drive that revenue for your business later on. But understand, I'm bringing in leads now. How am I going to nurture these people? How am I going to get them to take that action with my business? And a great answer to that is My Credits. My Credits nurtures your business and helps nurture your customers to take them through your business and turn them in from a cold prospect into a warm and hot buyer for your business. So My Credits is a solution to help you do that. Just throwing that out there. But on the other side, how are you doing that? How are you nurturing the customer? How are you nurturing that relationship? So in the coming videos, I have it all planned out. It's over there. But in the coming videos, we're going to talk more about this relationship, about getting these ads online, about getting this message online. And listen, it's not just Facebook ads. You can run YouTube ads to this page. You can run Google AdWords to this page. You can run whatever it is to this page. I know I posted up probably less than 24 hours ago, and I've already had 100 people opt in to become a lead in less than 24 hours. So you could even build a personal following or a personal brand, or you could have somebody else email out your offer for you. You could identify, like, if you are doing golf balls, for example, you could reach out to some of the golf courses or maybe some other people that have email lists and say, hey, will you send out this offer for me? This, whatever this offer is, maybe not the ad, but send out this page and I'll pay you a commission on the sales or the leads that come from that. So that's a great opportunity as well, where you can do you can broker a deal and do some affiliate relationships. So there's so much opportunity out there for you guys, but the key is to focus on these 7 things for your lead generation. If you can focus on those 7 things and identify what those 7 things are, and if you've made it this far and you still don't know what those 7 things are, be sure to book a one-on-one call with us. If you go back into your My Credits dashboard, you can book a one-on-one call with us. So there's a link below this video. You can link back and go and book that call with us. Because when you book the call with us, you'll get rewarded for the time that you're spending on the call. So I'm the first person in the world to pay you to actually get on the phone with me, which people don't do that. But that's what we do with My Credits, and that's why people love doing it, and that's why I'm completely booked up all the time. So that said, you can take the action, you can sign up, and we can go through these 7 things that you might be struggling with in your business to identify these 7 things. And then once you have them identified, you saw how we created the ad, you saw how we built the landing page, and you can get that all online. And how quick can you do this? I did all of this in probably 2 hours yesterday, setting up a new campaign. So probably 1 to 2 hours. That included creating videos, that included setting up different like automation, like connecting through different, the CRM, connecting to the call booking and all that stuff. So literally, you can do this in an hour or 2 hours if you know what you're doing. So point being, we could probably have a 15-minute conversation and figure out all these pieces that you need to get put together. So let's talk about it if you need to talk about it. Otherwise, let's discuss on the next video, digging in a little bit deeper into these ads and into the next steps of your lead generation process. So we'll see you on the next one, guys. See you then.